Hi, welcome. My name's Malia, and we're taking a closer look at my Trixie Mattel Sims build. For those who aren't already familiar with who Trixie Mattel is, she's a world-famous drag queen. She was on season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she won RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars season 3. I came across her somewhere in between those seasons. It was back in 2017 when her and Katya had a show on Viceland. Since then, my boyfriend and I have went to see the Trixie and Katya live show, and my boyfriend likes to remind me that he thinks Trixie called him ugly during the meet and greet because she kept asking him if he knows how lucky he is. We actually just got our tickets to see them in September for the Bald and the Beautiful tour. That's the live taping of their podcast, and I'm so excited because this last year when I watched my YouTube Wrapped, I was in the 0.4% of listeners. But anyway, Trixie has been on many more shows. She has her own makeup brands, a YouTube channel, and a pink motel in Palm Springs, which got its own renovation show. And season 2 is all about her buying this home and renovating it. Season 2 was called Trixie Motel Drag Me Home, and it came out back in June of 2024. So obviously, it's taken me a couple of years to complete. I also stopped playing for a long time, and I do have a habit of redoing things, especially as new packs come out. Even as I go along here, I'm going to make changes to some of the rooms, but this is a 50 by 40 lot, by the way. The main property goes all the way to the 50th square in the back and is unfortunately sideways from the main street. There's a substantial amount of free space on the left, but yeah, the fire pit here. I made a 1x2 platform and then raised the fire pit from the basement. I had to do this over and over and over and over. I don't remember how many times I had to redo it to align it right, but all that matters is there was a platform trim that actually matched the tile on top. As for the porch tiles, I made the pattern using quarter tiles. I'll put up a picture of the actual house so you can see, but I wanted to have the pink and black stairs alternating all the way down the platform, but I got a red error message saying I couldn't connect the different levels. I tried building the platform somewhere else and then bringing it over and dragging it to the house, but I think it may have been something to do with it being a foundation versus a platform, or the order I did everything, because I did do the stairs after I had built some of the foundation, so I don't know. I had to move on, but maybe one day we'll just be able to customize the stairs more. Actually, the same day as the recent stairs update came out, I had just told my boyfriend that I wish the stairs could be manipulated more. So that was definitely an exciting step. None of this build has custom content, by the way. I used some debug items, but yeah, no CC. I've built a couple houses now that are based on real places, and I'm always so surprised by how close I can get everything to match without custom content. So now I feel like it's kind of a personal challenge of mine. I'm sure I'll open that can of worms eventually, but the only CC I've downloaded so far were some jewelry and hair and shoes that I used for the Trixie Mattel sim. I don't think I mentioned that yet, actually. I posted another video for this house if you want to see the music video version with the Trixie Mattel sim. When I came across the Decor to the Max set and saw how perfect that wallpaper is, it actually brought me back into playing the game because I hadn't played for a while. So that definitely re-inspired me. And I had to include a deck of tarot cards because Trixie's into her tarot at the moment, which hopefully the deck of cards don't have any negative in-game consequences because I also used tarot art in another room. I haven't played through the game in a while, but I do remember certain objects can have negative consequences in live mode, so hopefully nothing weird happens. For the living room floor, I rotated the last row of squares in the room and connected them with a quarter tile in the corner. It made for such a smooth transition from the living room to the surrounding rooms, like the dining area. This is a craftsman style home, so it was filled with all these kinds of details that I didn't even notice at first. I probably would have never even thought to do this kind of thing. And now it's something I want to bring to my future builds, even though it is a very small detail. And of course, now my feed is full of home renovation videos, so I'm seeing all kinds of little things like that. And I love the videos where people are restoring an old home and they tear out the carpet to find the original flooring underneath, or when they're restoring a brass fixture and they take off years of that landlord special. The kitchen is unfortunately purely aesthetic. There's an ADU in the back of the house with a full kitchen that's completely functional. Since I recorded this video, there was a new pack that came out, and now, of course, I'm forgetting which one it was. It might have been the Royalty pack, but it has now cabinets that are pink with a white top, so I think I'll end up just changing it to those. But the fridge works. I can't remember if I tested the stove now. I honestly was a little distracted while I was testing all of this out because I realized that the red-headed woman had been hanging out here for like days. I only found out because I had the Trixie Sim clean up some of the dishes and she went out onto the patio to grab a glass, and I was like, we were never out here. But there's so many palm trees and bamboo in the yard that I didn't even ever see her. Turns out she had been here like while my sim even took a nap and everything. So apparently I'm just a terrible host. I made some changes to this music room too after I posted it in the gallery. I added these gold frame pictures on the wall with the tarot art. I'm not into tarot, so hopefully I didn't pick any weird ones. The only one that I recognized was the Fool, but I had no idea what it actually meant, so I got curious and I ended up looking up the definition. And actually doesn't mean what I thought it did. The Fool represents new beginnings, having faith in the future, believing in the universe, not knowing what to expect, being inexperienced, having beginner's luck, improvisation. So it can actually be interpreted as being kind of positive. I thought the Fool was just super shady, but I guess all of it is up to interpretation, isn't it? This closet and bathroom area are based on doors and windows that I could see from other angles of the house, but it wasn't covered in the show. I thought about leaving the space blank, but it didn't feel right. And same thing with this downstairs bedroom. I just didn't want to leave it empty, so I tucked a couple of things in there. Now that I think about it, I should have put a pool table in that room. I'm also not going to explore the basement. Since it wasn't covered in the show, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I just sort of tucked some storage things down there. This outdoor area, though, is one of my favorite parts of the build. I feel like it's really rare, depending on where you live, to have a private area in the back, so it's definitely a dream of mine. We've been in our place now for a few years, and I've been slowly working on our little outdoor patio. I have a bird bath back there and some native California plants to try to create a natural privacy screen. But it is surrounded by the other townhouses, so I just wish we had a little more privacy. But actually, when we moved in, there were these lilies planted. I've actually tried to take them out. They're beautiful, but I have cats, and lilies are toxic to cats. So, unfortunately, I do want to get them out. I actually spent a whole morning digging out the bulbs, and some of the bulbs were growing actually from under the pavement that we have back there. I gave away the bulbs to my coworker and I planted some at my old job, but apparently it wasn't enough. I must have left a little part of a bulb because they came back full force, taller than ever. The one plant is like only a little bit shorter than me, and I'm like 5'6", so they are thriving back there. If they weren't toxic to cats, I would leave them, but every time I let mine onto the patio, I have to be out there and watch them closely, so I'd rather just have them gone. And over here, we're gonna scooch. We're just gonna drag our way. We're gonna go this way over here. I don't know why I move around like that. It's a bad habit, I guess. I'm actually trying to get used to the Sims 3 camera again because I like the angles you can get better. But anyway, this is a fully functional kitchen here in the ADU. They only showed the ADU from the outside on the show, so again, I just didn't want to leave the space empty. Ever since I started basing my builds off of real places, I feel like it's been a nice way for me to sort of expand my own personal taste, which I don't feel like I actually have a lot of. I had to move quite a bit in my early 20s. I moved like every year or every other year, so I feel like I never developed my own style. We're still renting at the moment too, so there's only so much you can do, but I think that's why I gravitate towards building in the first place. I'm able to sort of satisfy that feeling of wanting to nest, even if it's based off of someone else's house. Committing to this style of interior design was really fun. And when you compare it to the Trixie Motel, I feel like they're really complementary, but very different still, of course. The Trixie Motel was a lot of patterns, heavily themed rooms, so that's actually why they got a different designer for season 2 for the home build. The house really has its own personality. This room is used as a closet, and I did end up changing the wallpaper in here because I originally wanted to use this wallpaper, the one I changed it to, but I was already using it in the living room before I got the Decor to the Max set. So I was able to change this one to the one I wanted. Something I learned from the show is renovating a bathroom can be one of the most expensive things you do in your house. So they weren't included in the show, so I just left them kind of basic. For the primary bedroom, I combined 2 beds so it would look like the picture. They don't function that way, but there is a spare room with a bed. When I was filming in here, the Trixie Sim had some choice words for the decor. Her mood started going down. She did not like the decor, but oh well. Side note, I feel like the Sims get so tired so fast. Everything really, I feel like, just drains so much faster than I remember it. When I was testing out the little stuff around the house, she got so tired I needed to give her a nap. Of course, then I discovered the cheats. But yeah, I feel like it never used to be like that. The spare room is completely improvised because it wasn't in the show, and I thought about leaving it blank. I thought about copying and pasting the pink and blue room over here and just only using one of the beds. But then I thought, what if Katya wants to come over? Maybe this room can be more for her personality. Of course, now that I'm playing it back, I'm like, I should have done the whole Queens Who Like to Watch vibe and had this be the red room. You see what I mean? I'm always getting another idea and wanting to change something. I'm not going to, though. Maybe I will. I don't know. I do love these earthy tones, though, especially in juxtaposition to the rest of the house. I think it stands out in a really nice way. And, ooh, I forgot to do the ceilings. Do you do ceilings? Do they matter? I always forget to do them. I modeled the balcony floor after the original pattern before they had to tear it up to fix the leak. The original one was more of a spiral, and I guess it's just personal preference between the two patterns. On top is the before tile, and on the bottom is the after. And I'm so sad to say this bed is not functional either. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 separate cushion pieces plus the pillows. But yeah, it does look spot on though, if I do say so. And if you want to use it, of course, just delete some of the cushions. Maybe I do need to get into some custom content. I still need to check out the new Creators Marketplace too. Also, the apartment building over on the left, I really only built that so that while I was filming the balcony, there wouldn't be just nothing in the background. Why does the paint look like that? Oh, it's just the lighting. So that whole apartment building is included in the lot, but it's just empty. I put a parking garage on the bottom, and I actually tried a new technique where I tried to make the driveway go down into the garage, but I think the building was too close to the street, so it was going to be too steep. I ended up just making it all flush and leaving it at ground level. But again, it's really just there so that there wouldn't be nothing in the background. I thought about making it the studio where they film the podcast. I feel like I could have done a lot with that. I could have even done the Kelly Mantle purple set, but at that point, it just felt like I was going to be falling down a whole other rabbit hole that I was not ready for. So, yeah, it's an empty shell. But yeah, this is Trixie Mattel's house. Let me know what you think. I personally love it. I think it's gorgeous, and that's why I built it. Thanks for watching, by the way. This was my first voiceover, so thank you if you made it this far, and I hope to see you on the next one.